Greetings, my pathetic purloining partners. I've been getting a little tired of all my diabolical designs being thwarted by the Caped Crusader and his pint-sized partner. It's time for me to send you all to school. To be specific, ice school. Why, you say? Because it's time to put the dynamic duo on ice. At this school, you'll have to run from room to room to get your chunky chumps in shape. And if you want to eat, well, you're gonna have to fight for a fishy feast. Your card will be clumped conspicuously in the doorways, and you'll have to exercise your sneaky skills to slip through and grab your tasty treats before the hall monitor catches you and puts you on ice. Not all of you will make it. Only one bodacious baddie from each class will graduate. Everyone who doesn't make it will become food for the fishes. I'm sick of my superior schemes being squashed because my misanthropic minions have failed me. It's time to trim the top of the tree and train only the deserving degenerates. I hope you can prove your potential power, because if you can't, you'll make a compelling cornucopia for my carnivorous companions. Now, let's take a closer look at Ice School.
Ice Cool from Brain Games is a fun little flicking game for kids of all ages. With some of the coolest components I've seen, the bottom of the box serves as the first room, with the 4 more smaller rooms packed inside like a stack of Russian dolls. Each room is numbered so that you can easily put them back together in the right order when you're putting the game away. All you need to do is spread out all 5 rooms and match up the colored dots on each of the doorways. Little colored dots in each doorway that you match up. Then you clip them together with the white fish. And you see the white fish here? There's 4 of those, which do a great job of holding the whole thing together. Each player selects a color and gets an ID card, a penguin card, ID card, a plastic penguin, and 3 fish of their chosen color. But you can see I've already put the 3 fish above each of the doorways. There will be 1 round for each player in the game, except for the 2-player game, which has 2 rounds per player. And for each round, 1 player is the hall monitor, and the other players are the penguins trying to grab the fish from the doorways. At the start of the game, the fishing players place their 3 colored fish above the marked doorways. So in this first round, the blue, green, and yellow penguins are the fishing players. So we have blue, green, and yellow above these 3 doorways. And the red player is the catcher player. He's the hall monitor. You have to flick your penguin completely through a doorway in order to claim your fish. Each player takes a turn flicking their penguin toward one of the doorways, and then the hall monitor goes last trying to hit the penguin of one of the other players. If he hits one of the other penguin, he takes their ID card, but the player still gets to keep playing. So, for example, turn 1, yellow goes first. Flick! He made it through. Now blue's going. Flick! He made it through. Green decides to go the other way. Oh, can he pull off a super flick? Flick! Nope. Oh, he's midway through a doorway. If you get stuck in a doorway, you can move your penguin to a spot, or if you get stuck anywhere where you're unable to actually flick it, you can move it to anywhere along these red lines in each of the rooms. Whoa, where are you going? To give you a little better shot of being able to hit something. And then the hall monitor penguin gets a chance to shoot. And if he hits your penguin, you lose your ID. Click. See? He hit the blue penguin. So now the red gets to take the blue penguin's ID along with already having his own.
This continues until either all the players have all of their fish or the catcher player collects everyone's ID.
Players then collect 1 point card from the draw deck for each fish that they have. So, if they actually make it through one of these doorways, like that, flick, they get to take one of their fish. Because they got through the doorway, they get to eat it. So players then collect 1 point card from the draw deck, like this. You don't know how many points are going to be on each card. And the hall monitor takes 1 point card for each ID card they have, including their own. So at this point right now, red would get to take 2 cards. And they're both 1s. After that round, the ID cards are returned to everybody, and the next player becomes the new hall monitor, and the fish are replaced on their spots above the doorways. So next round, red would get to put his fish above, and let's just say it would now be blue's turn to be the hall monitor. So everyone gets back into position. And we're ready for another round. And it proceeds as before. After each player has been the hall monitor at least once, the game ends and the points on the cards are all added up. The player with the most points wins the game. The rules have tips for flicking your penguins around the rooms. And if your penguin is too close to a wall or another penguin, you're allowed to move it, as I mentioned, which gives you a little room to maneuver. And that's really all there is to it. That's how you play Ice Cool. Now let me just show you how cool this thing goes back together. Let's take all the penguins off and all the fishies off and all the clibby fishies off. And here is box 2. Here is box 1. So we put box 2 inside box 1. Then we put box 3 inside box 2. Put box 4 inside box 3. And box 5 inside everything. You put all the other pieces back in, put the top on, and that game is ready to be put away. Isn't that awesome? I love it.
Obviously, this game is really intended for kids, but I have to admit that I've had a lot of fun playing the game. The layout just draws people to it, and while carrying this game around the Gen Con exhibit hall, more than one person came up to me and asked me which booth I picked it up in. It's so easy to set up, and takes maybe a minute to learn how to play it, and about 30 minutes to complete a whole game. It's a game for 2 to 4 players ages 6 and up. There really isn't much strategy, although there is some, I admit. And it is easy to collect a lot of cards but still lose because another player has more points than you do. There are rules on what to do if you get stuck in a doorway, and if you flick your penguin outside of the box. There really aren't any other problems that pop up. The only problem I had is that when trying to perform the wall jump, it hurts my finger when I flick too hard. So I learned quickly not to do that too often. Ice Cool retails for under $30, and it has usefulness beyond the simple playing of the game. My daughter has been making up her own games and playing with the components constantly since we first played it. So basically, it's a lot of fun for kids even on its own. I'll admit, I like the penguins too, as they are very reminiscent of Weebles, the little toys from my youth that wobble, but they don't fall down. Overall, this is a fun family and kids game. Even some adults will enjoy playing Ice Cool. Just one more hint. You have to move all around the board in order to get the best flicking position, so this game is best played on a round or a square table with everyone standing up, or on the floor. Thank you for joining me in this review of Ice Cool from Brain Games. Let me know if you found this review helpful by leaving a comment or sending me an email at elliot_miller@voiceofe.com. Make sure you subscribe to the Voice of E channel on YouTube, as I'll have a lot more thematic game reviews, and you won't want to miss any of them. Please tell your friends to check out the Voice of E, and hopefully they will subscribe too. Thanks again, and until next time, keep your mind free.
We need more.